Welcome to Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Good job, Larry. Thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to Boone Pickens Stadium in Stilley, or you might refer to it as Stillwater, Oklahoma. We've got a dandy of a matchup. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation View. It's a top 25 showdown. 16th ranked Horned Frogs at TCU and the 6th ranked Cowboys of Oklahoma State. It's a rather warm and sticky 90 degrees. Forecast is clear. There's no way it's going to snow here today. No hail. The temperature on the turf, we got it at 142 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. That's Todd McShay weather. You'll hear from Todd shortly. With Brian Greasy, I'm Steve Levy. We expect offense and we expect points.
Oh boy, we're going to expect a lot of points in this football game. Excited to see Mason Rudolph in this offense, right? They have steamrolled through the non-conference schedule, but a different animal here against this TCU defense in particular with Gary Patterson at the helm.
Oklahoma State has won the toss. It's the first time TCU has lost the toss all season. They have deferred. We'll have to wait a little while to see the Heisman Trophy candidate. Matt Amendola boots into the end zone, and Kenny Hill will lead the TCU offense out. First and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Hill is a 22-year-old, fifth-year senior. He has been through it all.
Yeah, he's been through it all. Some experience, obviously, at A&M, and had to sit out, and now his second year starting for this TCU team. And talking with Sonny Cumbie, their offensive coordinator, and Gary Patterson this week about number 7. The thing that stuck out was they feel like he is much more composed. Reading defenses, running this offense, he's going to need to be near perfect to pull off the upset today.
Darius Anderson is the single setback for Hill. On first down and 10 from the 25. Hill's going to throw it. He's got great protection and is able to complete on the mark to John Diarse for his first hookup of the day, and they'll move the chains, and that's how you want to come out firing.
Yeah, great way to get your quarterback into the game. Nice, easy completion on the outside to Diarse. They're going to need to throw the football to open up the run game. It's worth mentioning Kyle Hicks, their starting tailback, did not dress for this game. He's got a hamstring. It's been bothering him since camp, so it's going to be all Darius Anderson.
They split Anderson out, so out of the empty backfield, it's Desmond White on the reception, and a bring up a second down short, but Hill appears to be on target early. And they'll go quick here. When I say second and short, I mean really short. Here's Hill throwing and completing to Desmond White. Another short gain, but he's got the first down. And there is a flag down on the play.
Great start. 3 passes in a row for Kenny Hill. I love that approach from Sonny Cumbie. You got nothing to lose coming on the road against a highly ranked opponent.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
I think we're going to see that a lot today with lots of quick plays, offense, 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 trying to keep people fresh in the heat.
Right, and it's hot, right? So these defenses are going to platoon. It's almost going to be like hockey shifts from the sideline, both teams. So, yeah, I anticipate seeing that quite a bit this afternoon.
It was timed out perfectly, showing Mike Gundy's mullet when you mentioned the hockey. See TCU, what they've done. They've blown everybody out to this point. This is the Big 12 opener for both schools. And we expect a closer, high-scoring game. Desmond White has his 3rd catch of this early afternoon.
This could not have started better for TCU offensively. Get a couple of first downs and mass substitutions. They're making Oklahoma State. You see all these guys running on and off the field. Just the act of running, that's those 50 yards to get out there, takes a little bit out of their legs.
Second down and 4. Here's Hill. Again, has good protection. Hill's going to take off. He's got the first down easily. He's an excellent running quarterback. Eventually is brought down by Justin Phillips. You don't often see, you see substitutions on the defensive line, but the entire defensive line will run off the field at the same time.
And now they got to run and chase a mobile quarterback in Kenny Hill.
And they go quick after the gain of 10. It's Anderson on the ground. And he should have enough yardage for another first down. What an opening drive by the Horned Frogs.
And this Oklahoma State defense, they have a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of guys they can rotate, 8 defensive linemen up front, but right now they're not being able to keep up with the pace.
They've got 4 first downs already, and we haven't even played 2 minutes.
And a big key in this game, Steve, and talking with Sonny Cumbie, is Kenny Hill running the football. We saw it there, a big gainer. He wanted him more than 50 yards on the ground. That was his goal coming into this game. And then efficiency to protect the football. When they get down here in red zone areas, though, they have to score touchdowns. Not field goals, but touchdowns to keep pace with this Oklahoma State offense.
2nd down and 8. That's Cavante Turpin in the backfield. Off the play fake. Hill under some duress now. He'll dump it down. And they get back to the line of scrimmage. Shewo Onla-Aluhu able to make the catch. And again, no gain on the play.
Brings up a big 3rd down here. Be interesting to see if Glenn Spencer, if I'm him, I might bring a little bit of pressure on Kenny Hill, maybe to force them into a negative yardage situation and force a longer field goal attempt. That's what he likes to do in this scenario. Empty backfield, you've got short edges.
3rd and 7. Already in field goal range. That's Turpin in motion. Hill looking to his right, throwing and completing to Jalen Reagor, and he has the first down. 5th first down of this drive.
Reagor is the son of Monte Reagor, the great defensive tackle. Played with him when I was in the NFL, and Sonny Cumbie's got 2 true freshmen, Reagor and Kennedy Snell, that have infused speed into this offense. Normally you don't see those true freshmen playing this early, but they just can't keep them off the field.
Waxahachie Cousins from Texas. He'll fake the throw and he'll keep it. And he'll take on all comers. That time it's Trey Flowers, who might be the best defensive player on this Cowboys team.
Yeah, Trey Flowers needs to make a bunch of plays in space. We know this TCU offense is attack the grass, get their speed players in open space, and that's going to put pressure on Trey Flowers, Ramon Richards, both safeties for Oklahoma State.
2nd down and 8 from the 11 of the Cowboys. Fake to Anderson. Hill to throw for the end zone. It is nearly intercepted. Outstanding coverage by Rodarius Williams, and he should have picked it off.
Yeah, Rodarius Williams was in good position, but there was a poor throw here. This ball, Steve, should be out by the pylon. See, Diarse gets open. That ball should be way up in the corner. If you leave it inside, you allow the corner an opportunity to knock it down.
That's Hill's first incompletion, and that could have been a costly one. 3rd down and 8. Onla-Aluhu is in the backfield. Williams urging the crowd to get loud. 1 second to snap it. They get the timeout.
Yeah, Gary
they did.
Patterson took that timeout.
TCU calls their first timeout of the half.
Maybe credit that to Boone Pickens Stadium and the faithful here. We'll be right back. We are back just in time for 3rd and 8 for TCU at the Oklahoma State 11. Coming out of the timeout. Shewo Onla-Aluhu is the setback to the right of the quarterback Kenny Hill, who has misfired on just 1 pass on this opening drive. It's gone 64 yards, 10 plays. Hill to throw. End zone, and that is dropped. Emmanuel Porter. Hill hit him right in the numbers, and again it's Rodarius Williams on the coverage.
Well, they went back to that well on Rodarius Williams, the first-year starter, the redshirt freshman. This ball is better thrown. They went with a back shoulder throw, and it hits Porter right in the face mask. You got to make that play, right? Especially for Kenny Hill, get him some confidence on the road. You got to make that play. It's not always going to be clean. but you got to fight through it and make that play for your quarterback.
The key is you've got to get your head around on the back shoulder as a wide receiver. Get your head around quickly so that you can locate the ball. I think he just was late tracking the ball and it was on him before he knew what to do with it.
Say hi to Jonathan Song. His first collegiate attempt is a 29-yard field goal, and it is good. Now only UConn and Michigan State have not attempted a field goal this season. That is the Horned Frogs' first field goal attempt of the year. They have the 3-0 lead. If you're just joining us, Mason Rudolph has yet to see the field. But when he does, the country will be watching. Everyone's abuzz about Mason Rudolph. He's put up nice wins. He has matured and gotten better every single year. To this point, to put him on the Heisman map, Grease.
Yeah, Steve, I don't think there's a quarterback in college football that's hotter than this kid right now. And you can talk about Sam Darnold, you can talk about Lamar Jackson, all these other kids, but this offense is explosive because of Mason Rudolph and his brain and where he's taken his game. And when talking with Mike Gundy, he feels like he is seeing the entire field, not just players, but he's seeing concepts and seeing schemes, and he's able to get the offense in the perfect play nearly every single time. And it's really fun to watch.
You see the numbers, they are eye-popping numbers. They are blowing up scoreboards wherever they play. They have outscored the opposition 59-0 in the first quarter. That TCU field goal is the first quarter points against this Cowboys defense.
Not only that, the first points, but they took almost 5 minutes off the clock in time of possession, so they limit the possessions for an offense like this.
Cole Bunks kicks it away. Tyron Johnson from the 5. They'll cut to the midfield, and they'll be swallowed up at the 23-yard line. People are still talking about that first half that Rudolph had last week against Pittsburgh, and he spread the wealth.
Yeah, with 4 different receivers, over 100 yards receiving. But, maybe the most impressive thing to me with Mason Rudolph, he's been protecting the football. He had 216 attempts without an interception. But the last pass he threw was an interception at that pick game. I wonder if that's why Mike Gundy pulled him.
He said the one time that he got out of his world, everything else was perfect. But doesn't a coach love that? Give you something to work on. Something to talk about during the next week. And on first down, Rudolph will hand it to Justice Hill. Hill's got the big gain on first down.
So he's going to have a little bit more of a challenge today, Steve. He's without his right guard and right tackle. Larry Williams and Zach Crabtree both out for this game.
2nd and 2. It's Hill again. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ty Summers made the tackle. Bring down a 3rd and 2 now.
So Zach Crabtree is probably their best offensive lineman, the right tackle. He's got a turf toe and he's battling. You see on the right side, we're going to have Kevin Jenkins is going to start at right tackle, and Johnny Wilson will start at right guard. Larry Williams was hurt in practice this week. Might be an extended injury. So they've got some challenges up front against a good TCU front.
3rd down and 2. It's a draw to Hill. He's got first down yardage and an excellent tackle by Ridwan Isuhaku. If Isuhaku doesn't make that stop, Hill could have been gone. It's a gain of 6.
Just like we saw Oklahoma State defense having to substitute, we're now seeing Oklahoma State and TCU defense having to substitute. The interesting thing, went back and watched this game from last year, and everybody thinks Mason Rudolph's going to come out and just throw the ball down the field. Gary Patterson had a plan for Mason Rudolph last year, and he held him to 50% completions and only 200 yards passing.
It's Hill again, the ball carrier.
But they won 31-6 because they ran the football, Steve. 343 yards on the ground.
Early on, very clear that that's the philosophy. They want to establish the ground game here just like they did a year ago. And also with those 2 new offensive linemen, kind of get their feet wet, get them in a rhythm and get comfortable in this game. They don't want to put the quarterback, Mason Rudolph, in a situation where he's having to run for his life early on as they're working things out along the offensive line.
You be really careful right here, Todd. 3rd and long with those right tackle.
Mason Rudolph, his first pass of the game. Down the field and could not hit Marcel Aitman. Jeff Gladney was with him step for step with the good coverage.
Great coverage from Jeff Gladney. He played well in this game last year. Aitman has burst onto the scene. He missed last season with a broken foot. He rededicated himself, and he has become an explosive player in this offense.
So nothing doing, and we'll get the punt. Welcome everyone to Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. You just saw 93 points in the football game in Dallas. See if we can match that here today with these two high-scoring teams, TCU and Oklahoma State. Horned Frogs had a field goal on their first drive.
An impressive drive. Went all the way down the field there and had 2 shots at it in the end zone to Diarse and then to Emmanuel Porter. It felt like Porter might have made that play, but they got 3 points out of it, and then TCU forces a stop on the first possession of this explosive Oklahoma State offense.
Kenny Hill had led TCU to a touchdown on every opening drive in the first 3 games. They're held short of a field goal. And I know it's early, Grease, but that's one of those spots. If you're going to beat the Cowboys here, you need touchdowns, not field goals. I wonder if that'll come back and bite them on first down and 10. And around, it's Rager, the wide receiver, carrying the football. He's got first down yardage. One of the explosive wide receivers running around the end for 17.
You get the sense this TCU team, they have nothing to lose. Gary Patterson, what a perfect scenario for him, right? Nobody gives him a chance in this game. They come out and let it all hang out.
Hill is throwing, and it's knocked away. Excellent coverage. Trey Flowers got the fingertips on it.
But, you know, Gary Patterson felt like his team didn't play very well last week against SMU, so he had the opportunity to get on him. They actually play better, TCU does, when they go on the road, and he relishes the underdog role to go against a Mason Rudolph-led offense and call his defense. So I expect a spirited effort from TCU today.
They won by 20 last week. Patterson said they should have won by 80. Don't often hear a coach talk like that. Refreshing. Here's Sean Nixon, the quick hitter from Kenny Hill.
And I think the biggest question for Gary Patterson coming into this environment with this team was how his quarterback was going to play. Could he keep his composure? Could he not worry about stats, not worry about the big play throws down the field, but could he manage the offense? Could he get guys involved? And so far, the first couple of drives, he's done just that.
4 touchdowns last week, each to a different receiver. Here he finds himself all alone in the backfield with a 3rd and 4. 3 to snap it, and they get it away. Hill firing out to Desmond White, and he's got first down yardage.
And that's the Kenny Hill, the mature Kenny Hill right there. This offense has been outstanding on 3rd down. #1 in the nation, 65% conversions, and it's because of the decisions that Kenny Hill has made.
Hill, immediate pressure. Hill able to get rid of it, somehow able to stay on his feet and throw it away. Calvin Bundage tried to wrap him up but couldn't bring him down.
That's a heck of a football play right there. I mean, you go from losing 15 yards. Look at that. You go down here, the presence of mind to keep his feet, find a receiver, and the strength to get that ball out of bounds. That's a heck of a football play by a quarterback.
Big save there, brings up a 2nd down and 10. They are across midfield. The Horned Frogs already with a 3-0 lead. Hill is 7 of 11, throwing for 47 yards to this point. 2nd and 10, handed to Anderson. And that ball is out. Ball popped free. And I think TCU was able to recover. Kenneth Edison Magruder knocked it out.
Yeah, I think Magruder was there, and Leveni, the 95, the defensive tackle, got a hand on that football, and Anderson runs through the hole. You have to secure that football. Almost turned that over.
Cordell Iwagwu, one of the backup linemen, able to fall on it and keep the possession for TCU. Shewo Onalalulu is in the backfield on 3rd and 7 for Hill.
Will Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator, bring some pressure here?
They hand it off to Olanalulu. And he has a couple on the play. Shewo Olanalua, the sophomore from Humble, Texas. Had a career-high 63 rushing yards last week after touchdown runs on both of his carries at Arkansas.
I think that's the first decision here for Gary Patterson, whether he goes for it on 4th and 4 inside the 45-yard line. I think this tells you what he thinks about his defense. He wants to get a long field for this Oklahoma State offense and give his defense some room to operate.
TCU's offense has been so good this young season. They're in punt formation for just the 9th time. It's the 9th time, this being their 4th game. And Adam Nunez gets it away. And flags fly down inside the 10-yard line. That ball is loose.
Looked like Braden Johnson, the wide receiver number 8 for Oklahoma State, went after the ball. I'm not sure why he was going after that football, but TCU clearly touched the ball first.
I thought the ref originally indicated it was TCU's football.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 8. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a muff recovered by TCU, 1st and goal.
Let's go back and take a look at that.
Yes, let's.
So Johnson, the ball is clearly touched there by TCU. I'm not sure why.
The ruling on the field is under further review.
Not sure why Braden Johnson was going after that football. There's no reason for him to go after that ball. See what happens after we get back.
We'll check the review and get you a clear-cut answer when we come back.
Saying this was illegally touched by Ennis Gaines.
Team, yep.
Which, so Ennis Gaines is going to come from the left side of your screen. There he is right there. It's not an illegal touch. He's in the field of play, has every right to down that ball there. I'm not sure. We'll get a clarification maybe from the replay booth.
Where's Rogers Reddick when you need him?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We also have to remember there was a holding originally called that they declined, and I'm assuming that TCU will accept that now. We'll see what happens.
All right, we're still trying to sort this out. Both head coaches are looking for answers.
Now they're going to give TCU a 1st down. They're going to assess that penalty, and TCU will have a 1st down after assessing that penalty from the kick.
The bottom line here is that TCU has the football on 1st down and 10, an excellent field position. And Hill is firing, and he threw it out of bounds, way over the head of Devontae Turpin. So TCU accepted the holding penalty by Oklahoma State.
I don't know where the illegal touching was out of that whole thing, and that was the whole point.
Didn't see anything illegal.
Ennis Gaines can touch the ball.
Right, by the kicking team.
Great opportunity here for TCU and Kenny Hill. They wanted to take the big shot on that last play. They ran a wheel route with Turpin, who's their fastest player. It wasn't there. It was well defended by Oklahoma State, and Kenny Hill did a nice job throwing it out of bounds.
There's a discussion on the field as to whether the pass in flight touched the Skycam wire.
Well, now they're going to blame us on this one, Grease. It's our people.
Let's take a look and see if it did. Well, you know, that ball, not the tightest of spirals. So
easy to blame it on the Skycam wire.
Yeah, I think Kenny Hill would like to say that hit a wire, but I think that was just a duck.
Our Skycam people say, not us. Never touched our equipment.
The previous play is under further review.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I've blamed a lot of ducks that I've thrown in my life on a lot of different things. Never the Skycam.
It's a great start for TCU in this game, right? Come on the road, all this stuff going on, stops and starts, but the bottom line is that this team is in position. They've gone up 3 points. They got to stop on defense. They're taking time off the clock, Steve,
right,
and protecting their defense. So it's a great start for them on the road.
The first drive was brilliant, other than it ended in a field goal that it came up short. But they meticulously moved the football down the field, mixing the run and pass. And third down defense will play a critical role in this game, as it always does, but especially if the temps do get into the mid-90s here.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. It's 2nd and 10.
So the ruling on the field was an incomplete pass, right?
I think they confirmed it did not hit the wire.
I was clear on that rule. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10. From the Cowboys' 31. Hill, the quick throw out to the flat to Desmond White. Excellent swarming defense by Oklahoma State. Ramon Richards was the first man there, and then he got a lot of help from his friends. Loss of 5 on the play.
That's going to be a story in this game. Tackling on the edge. We saw Trey Flowers with a nice tackle on the previous drive, and now Ramon Richards. And you got to rally to the football because there's so much speed for TCU offensively that you're going to have to gang tackle.
3rd down and 10.
They're bringing Kennedy Snell, the true freshman speedster, into the game. You put a rookie back there at running back, I'd blitz him.
It's like they're bringing pressure from the right side. 1 drop, 3 rush, and out to the flat and complete. Sean Nixon, and that was a perfectly thrown ball by Kenny Hill.
Yeah, Kenny Hill identified the blitz from the outside, and watch this anticipation. That ball comes out before Nixon ever makes his break. That's not the Kenny Hill that we saw 2 years ago, even last year. That's a more mature, composed Kenny Hill, especially on 3rd down when they've been so good.
Got all the penalty yardage back as well, gained 16 on the play. 1st and 10 now at the 19. Hill gives it to Anderson. Again, they mix the run with the pass. He's got 5. Trey Flowers came up to make the stop. Hill to throw. Tried to go back shoulder to John DeYarce and couldn't get around the coverage of Adrian Baker, who was with him the whole way. 3rd and 4.
This is the 3rd time they've tried this fade or back shoulder early in this game, and they haven't been close yet. I think it's time to put that one away, right? Get back to run the football. Do what you're doing well. You've tried to throw that 3 times, and clearly Kenny Hill has either been inaccurate or Porter drops one, but it hasn't been there, so you got to go somewhere else.
This next play will be TCU's 24th offensive snap. Cowboys have had 6 offensive plays. We got 3.5 to play in the 1st quarter. Quick throw out to the right to Rager. Nothing doing there. Bring up a 4th down situation.
And that's great pursuit by Oklahoma State defensively. They've been on the field, as you just mentioned, Steve, majority of this 1st quarter. But they have done what they needed to do in the red zone to force 2 stops.
Here's Jonathan Song. Hit from 29 earlier in his first collegiate attempt. This will be from 31. Out of the hold of Adam Nunez. On the way. Dead down the center from Jonathan Song. 6-0 TCU, exactly what we expected.
ESPN College Football is presented by PlayStation Vue. Watch the biggest moments in sports. Try it free today. And in part by Audi.
Orange Friday, it's a big deal around these parts. Everything transforms into orange. That was the scene at Eskimo Joe's last night, famous watering hole. As we welcome you back, you imagine you're just joining us. You're not expecting to see a 0 next to Oklahoma State at any point in the game.
That's what happens. You only have 6 plays in the first quarter.
Amazing. Time-consuming drive. 5:40 comes off the clock on that last TCU drive, which accounted for another field goal. 6-zip Horned Frogs in what we expect to be a high-scoring affair. Tyron Johnson thought about it, hesitated, and eventually does bring it out. And he comes out to the 10 as we send it to Adnan Virk. Adnan, thank you. Look forward to keeping company with you all afternoon as we progress into the early evening here. Again, Oklahoma State has outscored their opponents so far this season 59-0 in the first quarter. And they've been blanked to this point, and they open this drive starting at their own 10-yard line. Mason Rudolph has thrown 1 pass so far. So you haven't missed much. There's a little shovel pass forward to Hill. And moves out to the 15. Trayvon Howard made the tackle.
Smart play calling here early on. You know you have 2 offensive linemen on the left side that are injured. You're replacing them with inexperienced players. Run the football and a lot of underneath throws so far by Rudolph.
2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Rudolph to throw deep. Got a man ahead of everybody and it's caught. James Washington, the superstar wide receiver, for 86 yards and the score.
I never get tired of watching this. Deep throws by Mason Rudolph to number 28. He's simply one of the best in all of college football. You couldn't walk that ball out there any better to James Washington, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he knows how to finish better than anybody in college football.
Matt Amendola on for the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. Cowboys will not be blanked in this first quarter. For James Washington, that's his 30th career receiving touchdown. He breaks a tie with Dez Bryant. Next up on the list, look out, Hartley Dykes. Mason Rudolph and company, they're in business. James Washington will continue to move up the ranks. I think anytime you pass Dez Bryant in anything, you've done some nice work. And they did it quickly. 30 seconds to score. The explosive Oklahoma State offense. So now they've got 8 offensive snaps. And able to get the touchdown. Mason Rudolph's career long is a 91-yard touchdown pass. That was good for 86. And a 7-6 Cowboys lead.
So, Steve, if TCU is going to be able to stop this offense, they cannot beat themselves before the snap. Here's Nico Small, the safety. He's only 7 yards deep. That's not deep enough against James Washington. He's too fast. So you can't backpedal fast enough. You can't run fast enough. They got to be deeper. Both safeties, Nico Small and Nick Orr. If that's the adjustment that Gary Patterson needs to make with this offense in particular. They're going to run the ball, yes, in that case, but you can't give up these kinds of plays.
And they should not be surprised when it comes to Washington. Now, granted, the Cowboys have a ton of very good wide receivers, but Washington is the standout player there.
He's the most consistent. Aitman has kind of burst onto the scene, and he's a matchup nightmare, but Washington is the most reliable.
All right, Kenny Hill, what's your answer? On 1st down and 10. Handed off to Darius Anderson. Darian Daniels makes the tackle for Oklahoma State.
I think the answer for TCU and Kenny Hill needs to be more of the same of what they've been doing. Running the ball, quick passing game, be smart with the football, and take time of possession. It's tough, I know, because you've had the ball the entire first quarter and now you're down.
2nd and 7. Keep it on the ground to Anderson. He'll get pushed back. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long. Justin Phillips and company there to make the stop. They will bang the drum slowly.
I'm interested from Todd. Is it getting loud down there after that James Washington touchdown?
Loud and hot, bud.
we just asked about the loudness, okay? Nobody asked about the temperature, McShay.
How's that AC up there?
72 and sunny in the booth. 3rd down and 5. Hill's by himself. And whistles. Hill took a couple extra shots, and the late flag comes in. To Quentin Osborne. I'm sure he'll say that couldn't hear the whistle.
Yeah, that's the old, I'll take a shot, and then I'll put my hands up like I didn't hear anything, but that doesn't fly. Sometimes those defensive linemen will take advantage of that opportunity just to send a message to a quarterback. Clearly that play was dead. He took another 2 steps. That's going to get called.
Sound like a man that's happened to before. Take a few extra unnecessary pops.
Raiders were famous for that. You know, they come over the sideline and you know, the coach, you think the coach would get mad at him. He's like, oh, that was worth it.
If I had to guess, I would have guessed Raiders. Talk to me, Reggie.
Prior to the snap, Oklahoma State called their first timeout of the half. However, by rule, dead ball personal fouls must be enforced. Personal foul, defense, number 91. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
And that's the right call. That is absolutely the right call. Just because you got a timeout doesn't mean it gives you a license to go hit somebody.
So 15 yards of penalty. That's probably worth it for Kenny Hill. Didn't look like he got hit that hard. He'll take it.
TCU needs to get this running game back going. You know, they had a lot of success running the ball against Arkansas. This offensive line, very veteran line. 3, 4 seniors up front. There's only 1 underclassman at right tackle. They got to take advantage of that in the run game.
Olalua is the ball carrier. And it's Darian Daniels, the offender on the last play. Makes the tackle. He's playing to the whistle that time, not after the whistle.
Yeah, the other defensive tackle, not to Quentin Osborne, but Daniels right there. Great quickness off the ball. These 2 defensive tackles for Oklahoma State have been wrecking havoc on offenses throughout the first 3 games of this season.
2nd and 11. Hill to throw. And could not hook up with Emmanuel Porter. Looked like Porter might have slipped down. Otherwise, he would have been there for the catch. 3rd and 11.
I think that's a big difference for this Oklahoma State defense in 2017 as opposed to last year, as they've got more depth up front. Behind Daniels and Osborne, Trey Carter comes in, Enoch Smith, and then they've got 4 or 5 defensive ends that can get after the quarterback. And Jordan Brailford, number 94, is probably one of their best, and he's in the game.
Here's 3rd and 11. Hill, the quick screen out to Anderson, trying to pick up his blockers, and he has just enough for the first down yardage. Across midfield, Ramon Richards made the stop. Richards, a guy the coaching staff told us needs to keep his head up and needs to tackle better. He was able to make the stop there.
Great play call there from Sonny Cumbie. You know, you get the sense the crowd's in the game. They're upset about a personal foul penalty. You got a third down, and you know you're going to come after him, rush. I'll just pop a little screen out there, get a first down. Thank you.
And that should do it for quarter number one. Again, Oklahoma State had outscored the opposition in the first three games 59-0 in the first quarter. Here it's a meager 1-point lead, and TCU is looking for more. They're across midfield. Second quarter when we come back. And Dan, thank you. Some surprising early scores or lack of scoring around the nation. Here's Hill. Ball comes out. He was bumped into, able to recover it and get back to the line of scrimmage. Veteran play there by Kenny Hill.
Yeah, Cole Watershide came off the edge, and Kenny Hill wasn't ready for him. Didn't secure the football, but averts disaster. Got a lot of stuff going on here with these this officiating crew in this game.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Calvin Bundage, the linebacker. He's outside on Cavante Turpin. Just reaches out, gets a piece of that face mask. 2 personal foul penalties on this drive for Oklahoma State defense. Killed him.
First down and 10. 4 penalties in the game for 45 yards. And here's Anderson. And Anderson to the 10, 5, and he'll go untouched into the end zone. Touchdown. Horned Frogs back on top with an assist from one of those Cowboy penalties.
Boy, and Glenn Spencer brought the blitz from the outside. You'll see it from there. And that opens up a nice lane for Anderson. Great weave. And just like Justice Hill did last week against Pitt, Darius Anderson returns the favor with a great touchdown run for TCU.
28 yards for the score. And Jonathan Song is on for the extra point. And just like that, 13-7. TCU, and the small contingent of people in purple enjoying this start. Coming up tonight, Saturday Night Football for you. It's Penn State and Iowa. Big Ten battle between undefeated teams. 7:30 Eastern over on ABC, streaming live on the ESPN app. Of course, the whole country will enjoy watching Saquon Barkley, I beg your pardon. And we know Iowa is tough at home.
Oh, Kinnick Stadium, right? That's the place where top 5 teams' dreams go to die, right? Last year was Michigan.
They were number 2 at the time, I think.
Penn State a couple of years back. So that's, I think that has to come down to a field goal, right? Knight and Kinnick.
You would think so. Great atmosphere there. And one of the great new traditions in college football, we saw it last year. They were building the Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And now at Iowa, the entire stadium, the whole crowd gets up and they wave to the kids in the window.
So cool.
Really cool setup there. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed a lot of offense for Oklahoma State. They got the one big touchdown pass, the 32nd scoring drive. But they've only had 9 offensive plays to this point.
Yeah, this is it. That's that long touchdown pass to James Washington. It'll be interesting to see here, Steve, as TCU takes the field for this next possession. Do they play their safeties deeper? And if so, then that's where Mike Gundy, Mike Yurcich, the offensive coordinator, will start to run the football.
Tyron Johnson will let it bounce into the end zone. Mason Rudolph is building something special here. You see second most wins in school history, 15 school records. He's now 9 touchdowns shy of passing Brandon Whedon for that all-time record here at Oklahoma State. And then people still talking about that first half against Pittsburgh last week.
Yeah, all that stuff's great, right? The yards, the records, the Heisman. But you talk to Mason Rudolph, he wants to win. He wants to win the Big 12. He wants to get in the college football playoff. And as a senior, that's the only thing you should be focused on, because you got 4 seniors up front, 3 seniors at wide receiver, and you only got 10 or 11 games left in your career.
On first down, handoff to Justice Hill. And he is tied up. Goes for a 2-yard gain.
And Mason Rudolph has had some success against TCU in his career, but he's also he struggled last year. Gary Patterson got the best of him.
Here's Washington. Bring up a 3rd down and short. James Washington, the standout wide receiver, had the big touchdown catch. Comes from a place called Stamford, Texas. Population 3,100. You know what he likes to do in his downtime? Quote, hunting vermin. That's what he likes to do. He is anything but your traditional diva wide receiver. He likes to just hang out, hunt vermin. I got to be honest, I had to look that up, what exactly that was.
You watch Bugs Bunny?
Those rodents. Out to the 36 and pushed back. Nothing doing for Hill there. Montrell Wilson came up to fill the hole. He's been a linebacker spot.
First down now. You'll see this tempo ramp up for Oklahoma State.
Got just what he needed. And now Rudolph to throw. It hits Washington across the middle. Took a shot up high from Nico Small.
See 3 runs there. That opens up. The linebackers come up, and then you get Washington right behind. It's almost impossible to stop when you have that balance. And if you talk with Yursich and Gundy, they'll say when this offense is really humming, they've got that balance between running and throwing.
18 yards, the last Rudolph to Washington combination. Back to the ground game to Hill. He's taking on some people for a gain of 2, including Travon Howard.
What's interesting, I'd love to hear from Todd down on the field, that these 2 new offensive linemen, Johnny Wilson and Tevin Jenkins at right guard and right tackle, seem to be playing well.
Rudolph flushed, directing traffic, and he'll throw it away.
They're doing well so far. You're right. I think the game plan is to run more than pass, and when you take your shots, make sure you have an extra guy in to chip and help those young players. I've also noticed too, so many defensive substitutions. We checked the temperature on the field. It was 140 degrees just a few minutes ago. So these defenses got to get rotations along that defensive line. The big guys just can't hold up these conditions.
I think Gary Patterson feels the same way, Todd. He's just going to take a timeout and let his guys get a rest.
We'll step out. TCU with the lead. 13-7. Back in Stilly, as the locals call it. Did you think we'd be
now you're a local.
At 13-7 here early on in the second quarter? I was expecting some more points.
You know,
I promised.
Just hold on, hold your water. You know, I'm not surprised that TCU has come to play in this game. Gary Patterson loves the underdog role. You know, he felt like last week they didn't play very well against SMU. We knew that they were going to play better in this game.
Come back for a 3rd down and 8. Mason Rudolph will clap and get the football. Got plenty of green in front of him if he wants it. He's got the first down, and then he'll cut inside looking for more. Sliding head first for the gain and the first down.
He doesn't do this very often, but Gary Patterson, he's playing coverage. You got 4 or 5 guys out there that can catch the ball. He's not expecting Mason Rudolph to run.
Rudolph is throwing, trying to go over top of the linebacker for Justin Hill. And let's see. We're looking for a flag and won't get one.
They're trying to isolate Travon Howard. As a linebacker, you're not going to get open against him with a running back. You're just not. He's a former safety. He's one of the best cover linebackers in all of college football, and he was ready for it.
Led the Big 12 in tackles last year, and he's at it again. 2nd down and 10. Rudolph 4 for 7. with all sorts of time. Doesn't feel the back pressure, and he fumbles the football. Ben Banogu made the hit and knocked the football out. And Corey Bethley recovers.
This is just effort. It's just effort from Banogu. You don't give up. Great coverage downfield, nowhere to go with the football. And if you're Mason Rudolph, you just ran 2 plays ago, you might think about running here, but you can't be loose with the football, Todd.
Banogu, classic Gary Patterson player. He goes after college or after high school, not recruited by a lot of teams. He winds up at Louisiana Monroe, has a huge first season, winds up wanting to come back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area because of some family issues. SMU started recruiting him, TCU got him, and he's been a big find early this season. He's got a ton of potential because of his speed and the effort at that defensive end spot.
See what the Horned Frogs can do off the turnover. Already leading 13-7. They take over 1st down and 10 out of the 38-yard line. And on 1st down, the handler Kennedy Snell, the true freshman, slipped up, and it'll go down for a loss of 2. Justin Phillips fell on top.
Well, this has not been the way that Oklahoma State's script so far this season has gone. It's been jump on teams in the first quarter and then coast in the second half. Mike Gundy knows that his team has not been tested so far this year, and he's now realizing he's probably in a 60-minute fight here with the Horned Frogs.
You see that hair gloriously blowing in the wind. The mullet was flying. 2nd down and 10.
Takes you back to your other partner on that.
Barry Melrose days. Desmond White makes the catch. There is a flag down.
They're going to get a hold in the secondary against Oklahoma State. Who has better hair, Barry or Gundy?
It's a very interesting question. I know they've battled themselves.
Holding prior to the pass, defense number 89 against an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
Traylon Weber right here. The eligible receiver is the tight end there, Cole Hunt. And there you see the right hand.
Oklahoma State penalties have been an issue here early. TCU is yet to be flagged. Here's Anderson trying to turn the corner with speed. He'll cut it inside instead. He's across midfield before he was tripped up by A.J. Green.
I was wondering coming into this game with how hot it is. The running backs, can they use one running back in a game? They don't have Kyle Hicks. TCU doesn't, so it's been Darius Anderson. They're trying to spell him a little bit with the true freshman Kennedy Snell, but can Darius Anderson handle the load in this heat all game? That's the question.
Olanolua has gotten some carries as well. That's Anderson, tripped up by Richards, who's been involved in just about everything. That Oklahoma State defense.
Another 1st down. Kenny Hill's been smart with the football, and they've had a running game. And that's the approach when you go on the road.
You see the keeping the ball, that means the time of possession. Don't care how explosive your offense is, you can't get on the field. 15 1st downs already for TCU. Desmond White trying to get to it, knocked away by Richards again. Ramon Richards leads the team with passes broken up. He's got a few more to his credit here today.
Well, he's a former corner that they moved to safety, so he's got those corner skills playing inside, and he was all over that route.
Olanolua checks back in the backfield. 33 to the left of Hill. Send Hunt in motion. And the give is to Olanolua. Chad Whitener made the tackle for the Cowboys.
Well, that's patient. This is a patient approach from Sonny Cumbie, right? 2nd and 10. Normally that's a passing down. He doesn't panic. He doesn't try to force a pass downfield. He just gets into a manageable third down situation. When we were talking with him last night, and I asked him, why have you been so successful, 65% success on third down? It's because we've been in manageable situations like this. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, much higher percentage of converting.
4 of 7 on third down conversions today.
Well, Kenny Hill can use his legs, too. He did it 3 times against Arkansas.
Fake off the play action and complete to Turpin. He's got the first down yardage. Richards made the tackle.
Boy, and Richards has to make a quick decision here. Is he going to go for the ball or the player? He decides to try to go for the ball, but you got to secure that tackle. If he makes that tackle, it's 4th down and you're off the field. But missed tackles have been a bugaboo for Ramon Richards so far this season.
First catch for Turpin. Handoff is Anderson up the middle. And he's down to the 10-yard line. 8.5 to play in this first half. And these time-consuming drives, they're twofold, right? They're keeping Rudolph off the field as well.
Absolutely. I would say that's probably the more valuable piece. But Glenn Spencer's you got to figure something out. You start stunting this defensive line up front. They're giving up too many yards on first down runs.
Down at the 11.
They're going to bring some pressure. Both these linebackers started to creep a little bit. It's a nice job by this offense.
Hill's going to keep it. Banged down now to the 8-yard line by Darian Daniels.
Say offenses use their cadence and the snap count to try to diagnose where the pressure is going to come from, and TCU has done that pretty well in this first quarter, first half of this game, to see where pressure is coming from. The touchdown that they scored with Darius Anderson running away from a pressure off the edge. A nice job by Kenny Hill and Sonny Cumbie.
That's their 39th offensive play of the first. What's the right number, Grease? Where do they want to be?
Well, that's awesome. They can't be much better than that.
Here's play number 40, looking for the touchdown. John Diarse got it. Diarse went up the battle with Rodarius Williams and brings it down for the score. And something is brewing here in Stillwater.
No question. This is the 4th fade that they've thrown in this first half. 3rd one to Diarse. Rodarius Williams defended the first 3, but Diarse just too strong up to the football. Brings down a big touchdown.
Place has gone silent. Your song. To make it a 20-7 lead for the Horned Frogs. TCU has now scored on all 4 of their possessions. They do it with the defensive pressure first, force the turnover, and then it's the combination. Hill to Diarse, touchdown.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Allstate, official protector of college football fans, and AT&T.
Mike Gundy, no question, a bit of a cult figure here in Stillwater. I don't know if you caught the numbers on Gunnar Gundy last night.
Impressive.
21 of 28, 333 yards and 4 touchdowns. Just a sophomore at Stillwater High School, leading them to a big victory here last night.
Wonder if he can turn any head coaching heads in college.
And he's much more than the hair, but the hair has become his thing, bit of a trademark, and they found a way to monetize that trademark here in Stillwater as well.
The hair is definitely the symbol, but I would say closing in fast or his hunting prowess, whether it's rattlesnakes or turtles.
Yep. And the kick, Johnson will let it bounce into the end zone. And when you talk about the mullets, got to go to the original. It's my old pal Barry Melrose.
First question, and I got to get this out. How do you feel about doing this interview and having the second best hair? I'm sure that doesn't happen very often when you're being interviewed.
It's like you still got to go out and put out a product. You got to coach. But it's, oh, what's going on?
I'm going to call. It's Barry.
You're making tons of money
off my interview with you, and all I asked was a T-shirt, and I haven't got a T-shirt from you, man. What's going on?
I've got more than that for you.
Funny part of that was Melrose's cell phone number popped up on the screen, so everyone in the country got Barry's cell phone number, if they didn't already have it. Here's Rudolph to throw across the middle, able to complete to Jalen McCleskey, and they've got first down yardage. So Barry was asking for a T-shirt, and well, we've got one right for you here. The man, the myth, the mullet.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. That's perfect. I love the way Gundy shows up to our meeting. Right, jeans, T-shirt, baseball cap, like just perfect.
Yeah. You ever get him in the Levy? Was that interview in the Levy Lounge, or was that a co-hosted Sports Center? What was that?
I did not want to break up the relationship between the two mullet men, so I let them have their space, and they went on and did their thing. Handoff, Justice Hill up the middle and spinning away from another tackler. He's well across midfield, and the Cowboys look to be doing some business. Off the gain of 16. That's Aitman. He's trying to stay on his feet. He has first down yardage. Marcel Aitman.
It's a big drive here for Oklahoma State. You know, they had the one long pass play for a touchdown. Outside of that, they haven't had a whole lot going on offense, and then they go down 2 scores, and they got to answer TCU's energy in this first half.
3 plays, 3 first downs here. Gain of 11 the last time. The big play was the 86-yarder. Rudolph to Washington. Handoff to Hill. Down to the 30-yard line. Isahaku made the stop.
Well, there's some hard hitting going on down there now. Running that ball between the tackles.
Rudolph thinking about getting out of there, and he'll just loft that away. Didn't really throw it as far as he wanted to out of bounds.
And that's a byproduct of the sack fumble by Banagou, right? Doesn't extend that play as long as he wanted to because he remembers Banagou coming from behind him for the strip sack. So premature throwing that football away.
I was going to ask you about the internal clock.
Yeah.
That time it went off.
Yep.
3rd and 6. Off the draw. Hill picking his holes. Ross Blacklock made the tackle.
And they're going to go for it here. I don't think there's any question in Mike Gundy's mind. The way they've been running the ball in this drive, I agree with him.
Give it to Hill. He's got the first down yardage. Stays on his feet. Still battling. Justice Hill, the sophomore from Tulsa, had 60 yards rushing on the first 2 series a week ago. Has 12 yards on that carry and a big first down. Rudolph throwing, end zone, off the fingertips of Tylan Wallace.
Boy, that just missed. Tylan Wallace, a true freshman. With good coverage. See underneath the linebacker, Rico Evans, forcing Mason Rudolph to throw that ball just a little bit out in front. And Tylan Wallace, you know, true freshman, they got tons of talent at wide receiver. You don't expect a true freshman to be able to get on the field. But because of the injury to Chris Lacey out in this game with the shoulder, he's getting some looks.
4 different receivers had 100 yards receiving for Oklahoma State a week ago. But that was against Pittsburgh. This is a different story against this TCU defense and a timeout.
Snap, Oklahoma State calls their 2nd timeout of the half.
5:09 to go in this first half. Oklahoma State very much in a ball game right now. Inches from a touchdown. With Brian Greasy and Todd McShay, I'm Steve Levy. Dandy of a matchup, arguably the best matchup of this college football Saturday. TCU has the lead, 20-7. And then we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. And Oklahoma State looking to get a little closer with Justice Hill.
situation here, Steve, where Gary Patterson knows that the field is constricted in the red zone. He doesn't have to defend so deep, so he can really react in the run game.
Here's Rudolph to throw, looking left to the end zone, too high. Sailed it over the head of Marcel Aitman. And Aitman goes 6'4", so that's saying something. Jeff Gladney, the fastest player on TCU, had him in coverage.
Boy, that's a big win for TCU defensively. Gave up some yardage on that drive, especially on the ground, but Gary Patterson will take that any day. He wants to force Mason Rudolph to throw fades and jump balls, 50-50 balls, rather than those deep ones to Washington over the middle of the field. And they get off the field and force a field goal attempt.
From 29, here's Matt Amendola. He's been better from long distance, but from 29, he's good. He's got it. And it's a 10-point game in favor of the Horned Frogs in this top 25 showdown of 3-0 teams to open up the Big 12 season. Mentioned Kenny Hill. He's been the experienced one. He has seen it all. 22-year-old, fifth-year senior. Remember him at Texas A&M. Came in after Johnny Manziel, lit up South Carolina. Thought he was going to be Manziel-like, and well, things didn't work out that way.
Well, that's not a good thing. You don't want to be Manziel-like, especially off the field, right?
Yeah, college
especially off the field, and that's kind of what he struggled with was, too much, too fast. Too much coverage too fast on Kenny Hill, Kenny Trill, or whatever they were calling him.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that really didn't like the way that Kenny Hill started his career, and I'm included in that. But we have to remember, these are just kids. They're just kids. They're impressionable. They don't know what they don't know. And I've been impressed with Kenny Hill in the last couple of years. He's been humbled. He lost his confidence last year, and so far through almost three and a half games, he's played much better football at the quarterback position.
It's a short kick to the up back, and Cole Hunt gives it up for TCU, and they'll have excellent field position. But first, here's that man. We'll check back with Adnan. Maybe he was having a sandwich or something. Those guys got to eat too. It's a long day in the studio. All right, Adnan, thank you. TCU has, let's say, been effective. They've had 4 possessions. They've scored on all of them. And that's how they have a 20-10 lead, under 5 to play here in the first half. Olanolua is in the backfield with Hill. Hill to his right, and he'll throw that way. Able to complete to Rager. And he's got first down yardage. He's out just short of midfield. Jalen Rager.
I think the biggest question mark for Oklahoma State coming into this season defensively were their 2 corners, A.J. Green and Rodarius Williams. Both of them in their second years. One's a redshirt freshman, and they're getting picked on in this game.
Keep it on the ground for 2.
And Rager has been a big play receiver, basically. He's had 2 big plays in this game. Came in to this game with 6 catches, just 6 catches first 3 games, with averaging 21 yards per catch. So they love his speed as a youngster.
If Todd's going to talk, he can't stand right next to the paddles hitting the wall, right?
There's nowhere else to go.
They are making some noise, and by Big 12 rule, they have to stop banging on the wall when the team's ready to snap the football. Here's Hill to throw. And a complete to Anderson out of the backfield. He's got first down yardage out to the 41. You mentioned the big playability by Jalen Rager. Here's a Hail Mary you want to see. At the end of the half last week, and 18 White, he's the only one that jumps. I can still hear Chris Berman and Tom Jackie saying, knock it down. Nobody from the defense even got out of their shoes. That pass is intercepted. Trey Flowers over the head of John Diarse, the pass from Kenny Hill. And the one thing Hill needed to avoid today is the turnover.
Yeah, and you're going to see this is just going down the field at the decision point, right? You can't make this throw. You want to make a big play, but right there when you make that throw, you got to see the field. And that's pretty clear that play was never going to be successful. And Oklahoma State had a turnover. You know, Mason Rudolph fumbles and they go down and score a touchdown. For TCU to pull the upset, they've got to protect the football. And those impulsive throws, Steve, from Kenny Hill, that's what he has to eliminate.
All right, off the quick change here with Rudolph, I would take a shot, but that's me. I'm an aggressive play caller, as you know. Let's see what Rudolph does. On 1st down and 10. Sure thing, hand it off to Justice Hill. Todd, you looked at Trey. I know you've seen a lot of tape on him.
Yeah, he's a senior, and he's a guy evaluating for the next level. The one big knock on him, he struggles finding the ball. Only 2 career interceptions. But you see there the ability to go up and make the play over his head. And he's always around the football. Great instincts. He had 190 tackles coming into today and 17 pass breakups, so always around the football.
He's already graduated, has a daughter, and now has the interception here today. There's taking a shot. So 1 play later, and they're going to say incomplete. Aitman was there, so was the football.
That's a great play by Tony James. He's their 4th corner, and he gives up about 5 or 6 inches to Aitman. And I was asking Gary Patterson how he taught his corners to play bigger receivers like this. He says, you let them go up, you don't jump with them. Let them go up, get the ball, and then when they're coming down with the ball, you strip or punch it out. And that was played to perfection by James.
Rudolph has missed on his last 4. Well, that was an excellent defensive play. 3rd and 14. Clean pocket from Mason Rudolph. Has all sorts of time. Now he'll unload sideline and was throwing that away. And Oklahoma State will have to punt.
Boy, this coverage by Gary Patterson, that's his thing. He coaches the secondary. You see him still coaching up Nico Small right there. He is one of the more intense coaches in college football. But look, there's nobody open downfield. I mean, Mason Rudolph is one of the better passers in college. And there's nowhere to go with the ball. They're all locked up here. Nothing going on. That is a hallmark of Gary Patterson. Outside of Tuscaloosa and Nick Saban, there's nobody that does it better than Gary Patterson in the secondary.
Rudolph just 6 for his last 14 now, and that's the first 3 and out of the ball game. Turpin is spun around at the 30. But the Horned Frogs, led by that Gary Patterson defense, have a 10-point lead and the football. 2.5 to play here in the first half in Stillwater. Nothing doing there. He'll take a loss of maybe 7 on the play. Think of a 2nd and long.
Track 45 in orange. That's Whitener, the linebacker. Outstanding football player. Just patient, waiting in his gap. He knows Darius Anderson likes to cut back, and that's the adjustment I think that Oklahoma State defensively needs to make. They need to be more gap sound as this game progresses, because they've gotten out of their gaps, and when they have, Anderson's made them pay.
A couple of years ago in this game, Whitener had 2 interceptions against TCU. Each school has 1 timeout left here in the half. Hill to throw, dumps it down underneath for Olanolua.
Smart play there. We've seen these negative plays on 1st down, and Sonny Cumbie and Kenny Hill on 2nd down. Just do what the defense gives you, take what they give you, and get into a manageable 3rd down situation.
10 yards on that play, and the clock continues to wind. 3rd and 6.
Sonny Cumbie's really come into his own as the play caller here. You know, Doug Meacham was splitting those duties with him most recently, and he's left, and now it's Sonny Cumbie's offense, and really blossomed into the play calling role.
Really taking a lot of time to do anything here. 2 to snap it.
They're trying to take as much time off the clock so they don't leave any time for Mason Rudolph if they don't make it.
Illegal substitution, 12 men in formation, defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Wow. It goes from a passing situation here to now you bring Darius Anderson back into the mix, run the football to get the 1st down. And penalties have been a killer for Mike Gundy in the first half.
6 penalties for 60 yards against Team Gundy. And as you see, TCU, they couldn't be cleaner.
And here comes Anderson back into the game, and they get a first down here, and they're up and rolling.
It is Anderson. He's got the first down yardage.
Now they're going to go faster.
What do you tell me about the strategy, though? So prior to that penalty, was TCU just trying to get out of the half?
No, they were. So if they didn't make that third down, they wanted to leave as little time on the clock as possible for Oklahoma State.
Still 1 timeout left in 30 seconds. This play will need a lot of time, and Hill tripped over his own offensive lineman, Lucas Niang.
Yeah, now Gary Patterson will talk with Sonny Cumbie, and they'll just let the time run out on the clock.
That's going to be the end of the first half. What a way to end it. Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for the Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. I think this crowd anticipated having a whole lot more to cheer about in their first half. Wow, Oklahoma State at home, trailing by 10 to TCU. Here's Adnan on the halftime report.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
We expected a close game. Maybe not this low scoring, and maybe not TCU leading. The Horned Frogs so far enjoying their visit to Stillwater. Steve Levy along with Brian Greasy. We'll hear from Todd McShay shortly down on the field. We heard so much about this Cowboys offense coming in. They can't get on the field. They've been on the field less than 9 minutes, and when they were on the field, they had a 30-second scoring drive.
Well, I don't think it should be any surprise that Gary Patterson had a plan coming in. Last year, he had a plan against Mason Rudolph in this explosive offense for Oklahoma State. And he came in this game with the same plan. Play coverage, don't allow Mason Rudolph to throw the ball over the top, and continue to make plays with the football. And you'll see they're dropping 8, and they're going to play coverage deep, and they're going to try to rush with 3. Banagoo, they feel like, is a mismatch up front in rushing the passer. And they've got guys, experienced, fast defenders, veterans in that secondary that can glove receivers. And then when they do throw the ball down the field, play the ball. Great job by James, getting it out of Aitman's hands. And then here you see downfield, where are you going to throw the ball? He's trying to bait you to throw that ball, and then Banagoo comes off the edge. They get a turnover that leads to 7 points. So a great plan from Gary Patterson so far in this game. If Oklahoma State's going to get back in it, they got to run the football.
We'll watch for that on 1st down and 10 to open up the third quarter from their own 25. Off the play fake. Rudolph to throw on 1st down. Incomplete to Aitman. Picks up a short gain. Jeff Gladney was there. Had him all the way. Second and short. Rudolph throwing sideline and completing.
The first half of last year's game with Gary Patterson, we talked about it. Not a whole lot of success and only 10 points in back-to-back games.
With that completion, Mason Rudolph goes over 10,000 yards passing for his career. A little too strong that time for Justice Hill.
We saw in the first 2 plays from scrimmage here, Oklahoma State throwing the quick out. And I think that's one thing Brian, when we watched the tape of him last year, they were able to work that quick out versus man-to-man and not involve all the other defenders in the middle of the field.
Yeah, we noticed that on tape, right, is that Gary Patterson's going to give you that out route because he doesn't want to give it up deep down the field, and you got to have discipline to take it.
Rudolph under pressure, and he will be dropped. Matt Boson makes the sack. Boson, who did not play in the first half. He was ejected last week for targeting, so he missed the first half.
We got matched up on Tevin Jenkins, the right tackle, who's playing again for the injured Zach Crabtree. And that's the first time, really, that we've seen Jenkins be overmatched. And now he's down, and if this is catastrophic if he's not able to stay in the game, because they already lost Crabtree. They lost their right guard, Larry Williams. And Johnny Wilson, who's their #1 backup in, is already playing right guard. So the next player in is anybody's guess. It looks like it's going to be 76 Dylan Galloway.
But you're right, catastrophic. An offensive line that was already thin to begin with, to lose another guy.
Well, in talking with Mike Gundy, you know, they've got a kid in Shane Richards who's from Calgary, Alberta, who's a JUCO transfer that they like, but they wanted to try to redshirt him. So they've got some tough decisions to make up front.
Here's 3rd and 17. The short pass is intercepted. Chris Bradley comes up with the interception. He was right there with Justice Hill. Tight window. And Bradley wins it.
Wow, here's Bradley here. And they're just going to try to run a screen back to the middle of the field to Justice Hill. And Rudolph, you don't think about throwing an interception to a defensive tackle, but there's a lot of traffic in there. An unbelievable play by Bradley. He's getting blocked, Steve. How hard it is for a defensive lineman to catch the ball, period, but while you're being blocked. Unbelievable play.
Athletic ability by Chris Bradley. 6'2", 275-pound senior from Shreveport, Louisiana. 2nd turnover of the game. And they'll start with the best field position they have had. Little razzle-dazzle. And it's Turpin. Explosive every time he touches the ball. He's got 1st down yardage. And the Horned Frogs are in business. It's just about the worst possible start to the 2nd half for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you mentioned the worst possible start, and Sonny Cumbie's not going to take his foot off the gas pedal here.
It's Turpin on the receiving end. He's crashed down to the 16-yard line. You know, I was going to ask you, what do you think that Gundy locker room was like? Hey, you know, we're down 10. Everybody relax. We're getting the ball to start the 2nd half.
Yeah, I think they have tremendous, confidence in their offense to be able to score. They don't feel like they're in danger in this game. Certainly, they need to be more efficient, but to come out and do that on the first drive, I think now they need to find some senior leadership, step up and make a play on defense.
2nd down and 4. Hill to throw off the play fake. Just too far, led Rager too far. And I bring up a 3rd down and short.
Boy, he had that one. Kenny Hill had that wide open. Rager on the slant route. And yeah, there's pressure in your face and a free blitzer, but that's the throw you got to make. I mean, if you're going to continue to keep the pressure on Oklahoma State, got to make that throw. You'd be surprised in empty sets here. They love the quarterback draw with Kenny Hill.
6 for 10 on 3rd down conversions so far today. Here's 3rd and 4. Hill will fire it, and it's Desmond White has 1st down yardage. Boy, they made that look easy.
Yeah, it was easy in the first half. And what needs to happen if you're Oklahoma State, you need to get a little roll corner on the outside, because every time you have a soft corner running deep down the field, the inside slot receiver and the quarterback just run out, and there's going to be free access.
The numbers on Kenny Hill. They have 1st down and 10. And the Horned Frogs appear to be in no hurry. Every second they take is another second Mason Rudolph is sitting on the sideline. Here's Anderson. He cracks down to the 5-yard line.
I would run right behind their big left tackle, Joseph Noteboom, 6'5", 322 pounds, and he is moving people off the line of scrimmage. Right here.
2nd and 4. Hill on the option, catches it for the easy touchdown. Darius Anderson is still standing up in the end zone. And if there was no concern level for Oklahoma State at halftime, maybe there is some now.
The option is a sprinkling in this offense. They don't make a living with it, but in critical situations, in goal line, in 3rd down, 4th down situations, Sonny Cumbie loves to use the feet of Kenny Hill as quarterback, and that's hard to defend.
Six-yard run off a 6-play, 42-yard drive after the interception. And as crazy an interception as you will ever see. Can't believe Rudolph threw this. Can't believe Chris Bradley intercepted it. 14 points off turnovers. Look what's going on here with the Horned Frogs. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation View. 16th ranked TCU came into this one as just about a 2-touchdown underdog, and they find themselves leading by 17 here early in the third quarter. And Oklahoma State will have another crack at it. Tyron Johnson from the 5. Oklahoma State needs a big spark, could use it from the special teams. He gets out to the 22-yard line. College football prime time presented by Hampton by Hilton. Tonight, another one of these top 25 showdowns, Mississippi State and Georgia. First ever meeting where both teams are ranked in the AP top 25. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Stream it live on the ESPN app. A couple of guys who can carry the mail and run the football. Chubb's got a rushing touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games.
We're going to find something out about Mississippi State in that game. We're going to find something out about Mason Rudolph right here. Down 17, third quarter, you got to get something going.
Rudolph just 2 for his last 9 with that interception. And a nice grab by Marcel Aitman going up to bring it down, Todd.
That's another one of those out routes there, but just watching Oklahoma State on the sideline after going down to 17 points, I'd say more stunned than panic.
All right, here's Hill, the ball carrier.
No, that was a great report there for you.
Yeah, that was deep.
They're running fast here.
I expected more to come.
Todd, I think they got to empty the playbook here. I mean, they need a sense of panic, because you can talk about all the yards you want and Heisman and Bedlam and all. You got a fight on your hands right here, and you got seniors on offense that need to step up and start making plays. And it's been Mason Rudolph with 2 turnovers that led to 14 points.
Here's 2nd down and 8. They'll hand it off to Hill. You say empty the playbook. Remember, Gundy told us that they only have 15 plays. They don't. I was stunned by that. Unless Miles was here, he said they had 100 plays when he was running the offense for less. They said really they have a few variations, but really they have 15 different plays in the playbook. And right now it seems like TCU knows every one of them.
Well, the biggest problem is you take 2 pieces, 2 important cogs off that offensive line at right guard and Larry Williams and Crabtree, and you got 2 replacements on that side. I can't tell you how difficult that makes it to operate efficiently on offense.
On 1st down, here's Rudolph with time. Feels the pressure, gets out of there. He's hit as he throws, and he'll just throw that one away. 2nd down. Traven Howard put a lick on him.
And then to complicate matters for them offensively is you're going against one of the best defensive coordinators in the business. And where are you going to throw the ball, Steve? There's nobody open downfield. This offense is vertical. And what Gary Patterson is best known for is to take away what you do best. You have to adjust. You have to get some crossing routes, middle of the field. Where's McCleskey? He's been absent in this game. Get him open in the middle of the field.
2nd down and 10. Here's Rudolph, throwing and completing. Aitman made the catch and got behind the defender. Beating Jeff Gladney there.
And you can see just from this view over here, standing behind the quarterback, Mason Rudolph, they do a great job on the out routes because the ball's coming out right away and you're not getting all those middle defenders involved. This has really been the best, most effective play of the 2nd half.
That's good for 27. They go fast to Justice Hill. And that will slow some things down. 10 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. 6th ranked Oklahoma State trailing by 17 at home. Off the play fake. Rudolph throwing. And again up high to Aitman. That has been really their only regularly successful play.
Well, I mean, the coverage is tight everywhere. So throw the ball to your biggest receiver, Aitman, 6'4", 220, and he's going to go up and make a play for it. As good as James Washington is, he's not that tall kind of guy that you can just throw jump balls to. He's more of an inline guy that you got to throw over the shoulder. Aitman can catch anything, anywhere.
And he can leap. His father was a basketball player in Europe, so that'll make him proud. Just the 2nd trip inside the red zone for the Cowboys. Clap and go to Hill on the ground. He's swung around by Howard. Traven Howard is having himself an outstanding football game for TCU.
He's an outstanding football player, and that time he was one-on-one in the hole with Britton Abbott, the Cowboy back at 255 pounds, and Howard, a converted safety, just goes 213, and he was too quick around the block. Britton couldn't get to him, and he made a nice play.
Howard, the first TCU player with consecutive 100 tackle seasons in the last 14 years. Second down and 11. That's Britton Abbott, the tight end to the right now of Rudolph. Hill in the backfield. Play fake. Rudolph wanted to throw it, was in some trouble, directing traffic, now throwing, back of the end zone, touchdown! It's Dylan Stoner on the receiving end of the score. And the Cowboys right back in the game.
This is all Mason Rudolph responding when the game is tight. You're going to see pressure off the edge. He's got to buy some time, extend this play, keep your eyes downfield, direct traffic if you have to, and you got to throw guys open, and Stoner did a great job of uncovering for the touchdown.
Nick Orr nearly got there in coverage for TCU. Extra point. Amendola splits the uprights.
Everything you can want, man.
Right? 8.5 to go here in the third quarter. Mason Rudolph making the kind of play you would expect him to make. In that spot. Don't go anywhere.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA, and Burger King. Check out the bold taste of the crispy buffalo chicken melt with crispy chicken and tangy buffalo sauce.
Hey, good on you, Sarah Clark and Terrence Larimer. They got married on the Cowboys practice field earlier today. They had their wedding reception during their usual home game tailgate. Big fans of the Cowboys, and we're big fans of this couple today. Congratulations on getting married here earlier this morning. Very cool. Good luck. Wish you the best.
Not where I would have done it, but practice field. I don't have great memories of practice field.
50-yard line of the game of the stadium was taken. Okay, they're a little busy inside the stadium. Look at you, they try to have a nice romantic moment. So you poo-poo it. Saturday Night Football, it's Penn State and Iowa, the Big Ten battle between undefeated teams. 7:30 Eastern on ABC, stream it live on ESPN app. Kirk Ferentz, the longest tenured coach in the NCAA. Some 19 years strong, and of course coaches Gundy and Patterson are 3 and 4 on that list of the longest tenured head coaches.
They seem to really enjoy each other's company as well. I saw them on the field before the game. They had a long talk. You know, we see a lot of these coaches give a quick handshake and then get away from each other. They actually have a mutual respect for each other.
Bill Snyder rounds out that top 4 of longest tenured FBS head coaches. Darius Anderson a gain of 4. Second down and 6. Here's Anderson. Cutting ahead for the first down. Let's see where they spot him. Look like they're going to mark him just short.
TCU's offensive line is doing a great job today. They've been a big difference in terms of the success they've had offensively. They average 312 pounds of pop across the board. 4 seniors on the offensive line. A new coach this year, offensive line coach Chris Thompson. And they think it's the most improved unit that they have on this football team. It's shown today.
Yeah, Todd Thompson came from Arizona State. He was there for 3 years. He was with Sonny Cumbie at Texas Tech, so they're familiar with each other.
3rd and 1, keep it on the ground at Darius Anderson. He's got the first down, and he is over 100 yards in the afternoon now.
It's been a creative run game today. It hasn't just been turn and hand on the inside zone. We've seen some speed sweeps with Turpin. We've seen the option with Kenny Hill, and then we've seen some perimeter runs with Anderson as well.
Here's Anderson trying to get outside, and we'll get a few. There is a developing pattern for TCU under Coach Patterson. Back in 2004, they were 5 and 6. The next year, bounced back nicely, 11 and 1. 2013, dropped down to 4 and 8, bounced back to 12 and 1 the next year. 2014, remember they were ranked 3rd in the country, beat Iowa State by 52, somehow fell to 6th. Last year, 6 and 7 off year. And see if they bounce back. They're a perfect 3-0, and this would be a signature-type victory here today. Could they hang on to this lead and go to 4-0 in the Big 12 opener? Under pressure. Hill able to escape it. Beats one man, beats a second man, but he's not going to beat 3, 4, and 5. And he'll lose about 5 on the play.
That's a good play there by Kenny Hill. All right, don't try to force the ball down the field. Not a lot on that play. Don't make a bad play worse. We've seen Mason Rudolph, 2 turnovers so far in this game that have led to touchdowns. If TCU is going to win this game, Kenny Hill cannot turn the football over. That was a good decision.
3rd and 6. You see the numbers on Hill. With a 10-point lead, he'll take those numbers. Out of the 42. Again, good pocket for him. Over across the middle, it's Jalen Austin, his first catch, and he's got plenty of running room. Jalen Austin staying on his feet. The 6'2", 202-pound frame helping him there for a gain of 41.
That's big time. Look at Kenny Hill point out the blitz over here. He sees him coming from over here, and you're going to see the tackle pop out. He knows he's protected. Then he stands in there and fires a strike. That's big-time quarterback play right there, managing protections and making first downs.
On 1st down and 10, it's Olanalua. He's down to the 5-yard line. And it looks like TCU, and Todd touched on this, the offensive line, they are imposing their will against the 6th-ranked Cowboys.
Well, look at Oklahoma State defensively. You got hands on hips. They played 48 snaps in the first half. And you can rotate. You can try to do all that kind of stuff, but now they're up over 60 snaps in the game, and they're gassed.
Here's 1st and goal. From the 4. Looking for the fade, corner of the end zone. It's Austin, and that ball stayed up there forever. And there is a flag down.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
The run game for TCU has put defensive coordinator Glenn Spencer in a bind. He's got to play man coverage on the outside with his 2 first-year starting corners, and this is what happens. You get down here, and that's the 5th or 6th time that we've seen a fade route thrown on the outside, but they can't protect them anymore because the run game, they need extra hats.
Penalties just killing Oklahoma State today. They've been flagged 7 times. TCU has been clean. No laundry on the field for the Horned Frogs. On 1st down and goal, here's Darius Anderson. He slips down as he was tackled. And to bring up a 2nd down and goal.
TCU's going to bring the big fellas in. They bring in an extra offensive lineman. You see 44 in the huddle. That's actually a guard. Now he's going to line up. That's Garrett Altman. He's going to line up as a tight end. Expect some power here out of the Wildcat.
No name on the back of the jersey when Altman wears 44. Handoff. It's Olanalua for the touchdown. What an answer by TCU.
A scoring play. They're going to look at this, but that ball came out. Olanalua, the ball comes out. See if he crosses the plane of the goal line before he fumbles. Ooh, I don't know. I don't
think he did either. We're going to need about 700 looks at this.
Well, there's a question. I don't think any part of his body was down. So if this didn't cross the goal line.
Touchdown is under further review.
This might be the better angle here.
You see green there. I mean, I see green there, and it's right down the line. Great job by our camera crew. But and there's no part of him that's down. The knees are up in the air. So if that ball does not cross that plane, then that's a fumble. And then the next question is, was it immediately recovered?
And the call on the field is touchdown.
Yep.
And if you want to look for a potential turning point in the game, this could be it. One way or the other.
So again, first they're going to look to see if any part of him was down, which it wasn't. And then You see the immediate recovery there by Oklahoma State. That was Ramon Richards who recovered it in the end zone, would be a touchback.
We're in agreement that that ball did not cross the plane of the end zone.
Well, by that, look right down the goal line, you could see green between the ball, and to me, that's pretty definitive. And a clear recovery by Ramon Richards there. Wow, what a big play that would be for Oklahoma State.
Right now, the scoreboard says 33-17.
Whoa.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Wow.
There you have it.
Again, that one look right down the line, right? It's pretty clear. You see green between the ball.
I'm with you. Extra point on the way, and it is good. TCU responds. Just when you thought the Cowboys were getting back in the game, the Horned Frogs doubling up Oklahoma State. TCU leading Oklahoma State 34-17 here in the third quarter as we continue Dr. Pepper's championship drive game of the week. And this has to be a surprise, this score at this point in the game. Everyone expected TCU to play a good game here. I'm not sure many people thought they would be able to win and certainly not keep them to 17 points here with 4.5 left in the third quarter.
Well, remember, Oklahoma State's been in this situation before. Those Cowboy fans remember last year at Iowa State. They were down 17 in the second half and came back and won that game 38-31. So they're in that same boat right now.
But that last drive was really something. The response to the Oklahoma State touchdown by TCU. It's time now for the Affleck trivia question. TCU has been ranked #1 in total defense 5 times. Which is the only team with more?
Huh.
That's a good one.
Well, first one that comes to mind is Alabama.
That would be my guess. I have the hot card. Can we make the questions a little tougher down there, guys? Like if I know the answer, if I know the answer, chances are we should pick a more difficult question. We'll circle back next week. It's Alabama.
I'll let that
Don't
one go.
give it away. Oh, by the way, it's Alabama. Isn't Alabama the answer to everything? Here's Rudolph across the middle, able to complete and hook up with McCleskey, who was spun around, took a big hit, stayed on his feet, gain of 21.
Well, in the break, I asked Todd what happened to Jalen McCleskey, whether he was hurt or something, because he hasn't been a part of this second half. And now he's back on the field. Obviously, I felt like he was one of the best playmakers they had. 3 touchdowns a week ago against Pitt, and he owns the middle of the field. They got to get him going here in the fourth quarter.
He's caught a pass now in 26 consecutive games. Did have the career-high 162 yards receiving last week in addition to those 3 touchdowns. Rudolph is going to be dropped by L.J. Collier, the junior from Monday, Texas.
Well, they know they have a problem up here with the right side of this offensive line, so they're trying to help out. That's Britton Abbott, the Cowboy back, trying to help, but you end up with a fullback basically on a defensive end. That's bad play design. You can't hold the ball when you know you got a running back trying to block an end.
Loss of 8, 3rd sack on the afternoon by the Horned Frogs. 3rd and 16. Rudolph on the draw on 3rd and 16 is Justice Hill. Rico Evans makes the stop, and some boos rain down from the fans here at Boone Pickens Stadium.
Yeah, the problem is that you're in a passing situation, just gave up a sack on 2nd down, and you have the same offensive tackle for the 3rd down that you had for the 2nd down, okay? So everybody can boo that call, but you don't want to put your quarterback in a situation where he's not going to have any time to throw the ball.
I also wonder if they picked up 10 there and made it manageable if they would have gone for it on 4th.
Yep.
4th and 13. Here's Zach Seiner. He's got his own Heisman campaign going. The punt, and let's see. It's going to go for a touchback. Could not down it inside the 1. All right, we'll revisit. For those of you in a bar who are watching on television and can't hear the fine commentary,
we'll hear what you're saying now.
We'll give you the answer. Oh, good point. Well, closed captioning. We answer the Affleck trivia question. TCU's been ranked #1 in total defense 5 times. Blah, blah, blah. Alabama. Folks, we'll do a better job with that next week for you.
Let's be better. We can be better than that.
That's on Todd McShay's business card. McShay, let's be better down there.
I've been saying it all week. Be better.
Todd, you're in charge of the question next week.
Done.
Officially.
You guys are supposed to get the answers, not me. All right. When in doubt, Alabama. This will be an interesting drive just to see the strategy on this drive for TCU. And of course, a little razzle-dazzle action. Why not? It's Kennedy Snell. Not much to it, but I love that with the big lead. Let's try something.
Yeah,
and they did.
I don't love that. I'm squarely in the other camp. You hand the ball off and then you flip from a running back to a receiver in the backfield. That easily could be a fumble return for a touchdown.
Could have been. I don't live my life like that, though.
Clearly.
And I'm an aggressive play caller, and I'll take that loss and I'll get it back here on 2nd and 14 for you. Here's Kenny Hill in some trouble, trying to get out of it. And he'll get about 3 yards back or so, bring up a 3rd down and long.
And that sets up the defensive line. Knowing that there was a loss on 1st down, you could tell they were rushing right away, able to get some initial penetration and then clean it up with the sack.
Todd, I would bring the house here if I'm Glenn Spencer, right? This defense has preyed on getting takeaways. They have scored a defensive touchdown in each of the first 3 games in this season. How good would it be for them to get one right here?
Only Texas has more defensive touchdowns on the season with 4. 9 for 13 of 3rd down conversions, and on 3rd and 11, they'll play it safe. And safe sometimes works out for you.
That's demoralizing.
It's a great block by the receiver, Rager, a true freshman. Your seal will come from the right side of your screen, and he gets the seal block on the safety, Trey Flowers. That's Flowers' play to make. He wasn't there in time, got blocked, gives up a big 1st down.
Olanolua picks up 13. Shewo Olanolua. He's been one of the stars for that TCU offense here today. He remains in the game on 1st down and 10, some breathing room and more clock ticking away. Here's Hill to throw. Able to complete to Diarche, running across the middle. He's across midfield, the big gain for Kenny Hill.
I'm standing behind Kenny Hill and got the same vantage point that he had on that. You know, he's not a very tall quarterback. Great job of getting the ball up over his bigger offensive line in the hands of the defensive lineman. Really didn't have much of a window to see that throw, but he trusted it and put it right on the money.
This is Kenny Hill's last opportunity to show someone, this being his senior season, not necessarily today, but in this kind of spot, that he can play in a big-time game. I think he understands that, and certainly his coaching staff, they understand as well. On 1st down and 10, Hill showing the legs, ball out. See if they say he was down. Either way, it was recovered by his teammate Jalen Rager. And he'll have 1st down yardage and probably the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that ball definitely
Ball's out.
Yeah. Heads up play there by Rager, back to back. He makes a big block for the 1st down on 3rd down, and then heads up play as a true freshman.
The final play of the 3rd quarter is good for 18 yards. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation View. That's what it's all about. That's what these ranked teams are playing for. The National Championship Trophy, presented by Dr. Pepper. And we believe, coming into this game, the Big 12's been left out of the playoff. Kind of an afterthought, all these Power 5 conferences, the weak conference, if you will, not making the playoff, and that could all be different this year. And a big part of that is the strength of these 2 schools here today, and of course, Oklahoma as well.
Well, we thought coming in, Oklahoma State, I mean, who couldn't think that way? They have steamrolled their schedule, but we're finding out today, when you get some adversity, Mike Gundy knows this, that those 3 games were too easy at the start of the year. Pitt was not good defensively. And they've got a fight on their hands here. TCU has come in, and they have taken it to them in all phases.
Up by 17 and looking for more. Here's Hill. There was a holding penalty. A clear-cut holding penalty on Lucas Niang. 77.
Holding. Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the first penalty to go against TCU all afternoon.
It's been a well-played game from TCU. I mean, to have no penalties through 3 quarters in this kind of game on the road. You know, Gary Patterson was very vocal this week. He wasn't happy with the way his team played last week against SMU. It was the perfect scenario for him as an underdog to come in and play well. And they have that balance on the offensive side, over 400 yards of offense and no penalties. It's been an outstanding game.
Here's Hill to check it down to Anderson. Breaks 1 tackle and has some running room. Darius Anderson is just tripped up after getting first down yardage.
This is like the security blanket for Sonny Cumbie. He gets in trouble, he goes to the screen game. And it's worked so far in the first month of the season. The defensive coordinators in the Big 12 are they're going to learn. Because it's a safe play, right, for Kenny Hill. You don't have to throw the ball down the field. But that screen game is becoming a little bit of a crutch for TCU.
18 yards on that easy play.
Yep.
We'll take that all afternoon. First down and 10. It's Anderson again on the ground. They'll churn some clock, coming up on 13 minutes to play in the game. TCU up by 17. USA Today called this the game of the weekend, the single game you couldn't miss. All national eyes will be on this one. So what are people around the country thinking when they see this?
I don't think that this is going to catch many people by surprise, okay? Gary Patterson's a heck of a football coach, and yeah, they weren't very good last year. They had a losing record, but anybody that's surprised by the way TCU has played doesn't know Gary Patterson.
Here's Anderson, already at his career-high mark. Give him 2 more yards on that play.
And you can just feel TCU sucking the life out of this game. You know? No more hurry up. No more hurry up, right? I mean, take as much time as you can. They're being more physical. Niang is starting to road grade people at the right tackle position. Look at it right here, number 77. Watch this block. That is the definition of pancake. It's an attitude right now, and Oklahoma State's got to dig deep and find something.
3rd down and 7. Hill trying back shoulder for Emmanuel Porter. Could not connect. Rodarius Williams had the coverage. This is a moral victory for Oklahoma State.
I'm almost surprised they threw the ball down the field like they did there. Maybe a screen, something safe, keep in field position, and give yourself a great chance to go up 3 scores with the field goal.
Here's Jonathan Song. Already hit from 29 and 31. This is also a 31-yard attempt. On the way, and it is good. It is all good for the Horned Frogs today. Wow, up by 20 in Stillwater with 12 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Just as Coach Patterson designed it. And thank you. We saw Boston College last week. Did you think they give Clemson a hard time in Death Valley today?
I think Clemson may be sleepwalking through that one.
All right. Oklahoma State will get the football. Tyron Johnson. He is tripped up out to the 20-yard line. Take a look at today's college football rankings brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. And as always, these are subject to change. Man, another crazy Saturday in college football.
I know you guys put that up there. You know, whenever Michigan's trailing, you put it up. I mean,
Wilton Spate got hurt today in that game.
Well, there's three teams. Oklahoma State obviously losing here. Michigan's losing, and SC's tied. Penn State's going on the road. It could be a lot of shakeups.
Cowboys have not started a drive outside their own 25. This is their 9th possession. Able to complete the James Washington first down yardage. I guess it's worth pointing out the Cowboys do have all 3 timeouts.
Well, they rose up. Mason Rudolph, it was all him on the last drive, went down and got a touchdown. The problem is they couldn't stop anybody. Now they need to do it again.
Dylan Stoner could not hang on. The only previous time they went to Stoner was that last touchdown. He thought the Cowboys were coming on.
Well, the challenge here is everybody knows in the stadium that you're throwing the ball. Gary Patterson knows you're throwing the ball, and you got to throw it quick. You can't hold it because your right side of your offensive line is getting manhandled, and here's Bonagou ready to come at you again.
2nd down and 10. Off the play fake. Not sure who that's faking. Rudolph throwing down the middle to McCleskey and led him too far. Nico Small had the coverage. Why play action? Who are you fooling at this point in the game?
That's more for the protection than anything.
Okay, right? You're not freezing any linebackers at that point anymore.
No, they wanted to turn the offensive line over to Bonagou and double team him, so that was the best way to do it. That was the same play that McCleskey last week scored 3 touchdowns against Pitt, and it was played really well by Nico Small.
Mason Rudolph just 14 of 27 for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. He also was sacked and fumbled, leading to another turnover.
And that's about the same kind of stats that he had in last year's game against TCU and this Gary Patterson defense. So clearly Gary Patterson's been the nemesis for Rudolph in the last couple of years.
Kryptonite, if you will. 3rd and 10. Rudolph across the middle. Has first down yardage to Washington on the forward progress. And he'll get up and go quickly.
There's going to be double teams. You know, James Washington's going to have double teams. You know what? Doesn't matter. If you're a great player, I'm going to throw you the ball. You got to make the play.
On the grounds to change it up to Justice Hill. And able to push the pile and has first down yardage.
That was a good, tough run by Justice Hill. You know, I think a big reason why Oklahoma State won last year was because of Chris Carson. They had 340 yards on the ground.
Stay on the ground to Hill. Down the sideline. And they're going to say he stepped out. They're going to say he stepped out at the 24-yard line. And they'll bring that back. Gain of 17 on the play.
There was the 1-2 punch of Hill and Carson a year ago that really did TCU in. Whoa.
Did he step out? That was really close.
Another 10 yards he gained there.
J.D. King has checked into the ball game, true freshman from Fitzgerald, Georgia.
They haven't found that real power replacement for Carson. King is 205 pounds, but they need a 1-2 punch to take some pressure off Hill.
One to snap it, and there you go. True freshman bumps into the quarterback on the handoff exchange, and still able to get some yardage out of that. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah.
That could have been the ball game.
Probably hasn't had a whole lot of reps doing that with Mason Rudolph, but you can see he's built strong in his lower body.
Here's Rudolph to throw. Underneath, and the flags fly. Look to get King free out of the backfield. Rico Evans had the coverage and the flag.
I like what I've seen here from Mason Rudolph in the last 2 drives. He's not going in the tank. He's not panicking. He's running the offense, giving his receivers and backs a chance to make plays. Still in this game. I know it's a 20-point game, but there is plenty of time left on the clock, and with the explosive nature that they have on offense, this game is far from over.
Pass interference, defense, number 7, automatic first down.
Be hard to argue with that call.
For Oklahoma State, you have, however, eaten up any room for error. You must score touchdowns on each of the next 3 drives and hold TCU from scoring.
Fake to King. Rudolph throwing and nearly intercepted. Wow, was that close. Ridwan Isahaku nearly able to intercept it.
Isahaku is a smart football player. Look, he's reading the backfield. He responds, gets his head around. That was almost an unbelievable play. He's a high school cornerback that they turned into a corner and now a safety. That's the calling card of Gary Patterson, and he almost shut the door.
Had a 53-yard pick-6 interception against Jackson State earlier in the season. Could not hang on to that one. Hill is back in there for King, and Rudolph to throw. Shovel pass to Hill, stays on his feet. Second effort, and he won't get to the goal line. Impressive defensive stand. Montrell Wilson able to stand him up. I thought that was going to be just with his momentum carrying him into the end zone.
Yeah, but look at the fight at the end of this play. He didn't get in the end zone, but he did get a first down, Steve.
And here's a chance for Rudolph on his feet for the score. Mason Rudolph runs in for the touchdown. And that will close the gap.
Had to have it. You had to have the last two drives. And no, it doesn't look pretty like it did last week. You don't just come out and run a buzzsaw through TCU in this defense. The first sign of some adversity for Oklahoma State. Offensively, they've responded here in the last two drives. Problem is, defensively, they can't get Kenny Hill and these guys off the field.
Matt Amendola on for the always important extra point. Two-score game. TCU with the football. Important drive when we come back.
ESPN College Football is presented by PlayStation Vue. Watch the biggest moments in sports. Try it free today.
Levy, Greasy, McShay, now our outstanding ESPN College Football crew. We think we got a fantastic finish coming for you. Cowboys trailing by 13. They run 10 plays, a 79-yard drive, only take 2 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock, and that is significant. Cowboys still have all 3 timeouts. This next drive for TCU will be significant. Even if they don't score, it will be significant.
If I'm TCU on this return team, I'm ready for anything. I'm not going to be taken by surprise, especially the frontline guys.
In the air, it's a short kick. It's Turpin, who is always explosive from his 15. Trying to spin out of trouble. Can't do it. TCU with the football. Adnan Virk with the microphone. Adnan, thank you. USC's beaten Cal 13 consecutive times, trying to make it 14 in a row. TCU, no 3-and-outs, not a single time today. And officially, they haven't even punted once today. And before the snap, there's a flag.
Ball start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the first time this crowd has been in the game in the second half. And they know that this is a huge drive. And when they have an effect on a game like that, or on a penalty like that, you're sure the next snap they're going to be even louder.
Joseph Noteboom, the left tackle move. See what TCU has done with the football. 8 full possessions, 4 touchdowns, 3 field goals, and the 1 interception. Again, no 3-and-outs and officially no punts. Here's Darius Anderson, who has been carrying the mail all afternoon for the Horned Frogs. He gets 4. The clock melts under 10.
If I'm Glenn Spencer, defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, I am going to go after the run game. You cannot allow Anderson to get going in this situation.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. No, I beg your pardon, that was dealing with the penalty yardage. So pick up the 4. They're throwing. There's Kenny Hill. Checks it down to Anderson. And a good play to spin to stay inbounds, and he is walloped there at about the 33.
Again, you see a negative yardage situation on first down with the penalty, and you don't panic. Sonny Cumbie doesn't panic. Kenny Hill doesn't panic. Just get me to a third manageable situation. We've seen that time and time again from TCU in this game. Question is, can Oklahoma State defensively get one more stop, get off the field?
One of the benefits to having a 22-year-old, fifth-year senior quarterback. 3rd and 4, big spot.
No safety.
That means people are coming, and they are. Hill, he's going to go down. He has swarmed down back at the 20, led by Calvin Bundage. Josie Akeem is there as well.
See no safety back there. Both linebackers come, and no boom goes down, and that's the stop that Glenn Spencer needed. That is the momentum that Mason Rudolph and this offense needed. Now you get TCU's defense right back on the field.
First sack by Oklahoma State today, and the first 3 and out by the TCU offense. And officially their first punt. Bouncing ball. Taking a TCU bounce. So here we go. Oklahoma State will start at their own 33-yard line after a punt of 46 yards. Trailing by 13, 7.5 to go. Extra Yard for Teachers Week is a week-long celebration of teachers led by the College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers platform. Visit the College Football Playoff Foundation website at www.cfp-foundation.org to learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers Week and see how you can get involved. We ask you to get involved. Do something nice for a teacher today. We need them. Here's Rudolph. Throw it. Incomplete. And a flag comes late. Looking to hit Marcel Aitman. And the flag from the defensive backfield.
Pass interference, offense, number 3. 15-yard penalty. It's first down.
Didn't see that coming.
No. Neither did Aitman. His reaction.
Only thing I can think of is sometimes these receivers get out of control and then they run into the defender, and the official will give them the benefit of the doubt to the guy that's in control.
Defender has a right to that real estate as well. So how about first down and 25 for Mason Rudolph? To throw. Plenty of time. Rudolph on the run. And now he'll just throw it away. We had a fascinating discussion during the commercial break in terms of the strategy. Rudolph's got to pass it here. 7 minutes left, down 13. Do you pressure Mason Rudolph, or you go back and sit in coverage?
I don't think you need to pressure him because of the offensive line. The right side of the offensive line has given up pressure all game, and you put Banugu over there, number 15, who's lined up there now, and you're going to get that pressure without having to blitz and putting your corners on an island.
It was an interesting conversation when it was 1st and 10, not 2nd and 25.
So that changed the circumstances a little bit. Here's Rudolph under pressure. Able to fight off one defender and throw on the run and complete to Dylan Stoner. Mason Rudolph gives you a little Big Ben there, shrugging off a would-be sacker for a gain of 13.
Yeah, there's Banugu. He goes right around, and I mean, give credit to Tevin Jenkins. He's doing his best he can.
Here's 3rd and 12. In all sorts of trouble, and he'll throw it into the turf. And there's the flag.
Oklahoma State tried to snap that ball quick where TCU had 12 guys on the field, and Gary Patterson saw it. He tried to call a timeout. And we'll see if they give him the timeout.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 on the field. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
It's a great job. Very aware by Mason Rudolph to get this ball snapped. You see they're trying to substitute, coming on late, getting off late. Oh, that's a big defensive tackle too, Bradley. And you see that's Gary Patterson tries to call a timeout, didn't give it to him. Big third down.
And 7. Rudolph has some time to step up and throw, and it's Stoner for the first down yardage. Just shy of midfield. It's amazing. In crunch time, they don't go to Washington, they go to Stoner.
That's big time.
Gain of 12.
He had to have it, and he got man coverage, and he made the play.
1st and 10. Rudolph throwing and completing to Aikman, able to turn the corner. And a little high step and a fake, and more yardage. Clock is stopped, 6:22 left in the 4th. Trailing by 13, Cowboys have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Boy, TCU has played so well defensively throughout this game, and now in this 4th quarter, you wonder if they're starting to get gassed.
29 on the last play. Quick screen, gonna have McCluskey throwing, and it's intercepted! Oh, what a play! What a huge gamble, and it's picked off!
Why would you do that if you have Mason Rudolph as your quarterback? That's shocking to me.
I have no idea, Todd. No idea. You start feeling it as a play caller. You see right here, he just throws the ball too fast. But the thing, when you have receivers throw balls down the field, they're not reading defense. They're going to throw it no matter what. And you got to know the situation, the down and distance. And that was a gift wrapped to TCU.
Nick Orr, who is known as the key to that 4-2-5 defense, started every game the last 3 years. His coaches trust him more than anyone else on that defensive unit. He was able to make that play and intercept Jalen McCluskey. Wow, what a gamble, what a risk. And it backfires against the Cowboys.
Well, you mismanage the situation is ultimately what happens if you're Oklahoma State and the coaching staff. And Mike Gundy will look back at that and say, you know what, we had plenty of time. There's 5.5 minutes left in the game. We could have run the ball with Justice Hill just like we did on the last drive and gotten that ball in and had plenty of time with 3 timeouts, to stop TCU and go up for the winning touchdown. But sometimes those calls come back to bite you, and this one certainly would.
That's one of those. If it works, the stadium explodes. That highlight is shown all across the country. And when it doesn't work, you're in big trouble. And the Cowboys are now. On 2nd down and 9, Anderson. Not much there, but he really doesn't care about the yardage now. It's taking time off that clock.
The turnovers have been a big part of this game. Mason Rudolph fumbled. Great play by Bonagou led to this touchdown to Diarse. And then this great play by the defensive tackle Bradley leads to the option and another touchdown. And TCU, give them credit offensively. They have made Oklahoma State pay for those turnovers.
Nick Orr led TCU with 4 interceptions last season. Comes up with the big pick in this football game. On 3rd and 11. Short gain.
I think about taking a timeout here, for Oklahoma State.
And there's the first. 4:35 left.
Bad as that decision was,
yes,
to throw that ball,
yes,
they still got a chance here with 2 timeouts.
Adnan, thank you. And we welcome you back with Adam Nunez set to punt. From the back of his end zone, got some pressure, able to get it away. It's McCluskey on a hop at the 47. And what a tackle, what a special team stop. Able to get just enough. All-State is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, All-State has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
That's a great play by Gravel. That was Lucas Gravel. He's the snapper. And you don't think that the snapper is going to be the athlete to get down the field and get McCluskey on the ground, but excellent job. Good hustle.
TCU used just 91 seconds on those 3 plays. Their second consecutive 3 and out after not going 3 and out at all in the game. So 4:27 left. Cowboys had to spend a timeout there. And 2 remaining.
Still a ton of time left here. Love to get this ball in the end zone with around 2.5 minutes left in the game.
An excellent field position. Here's Rudolph. He'll check it down, and making people miss is Justice Hill. He's out to the 36. Anthony Tejada made the tackle, gain of 11.
You got to think that TCU is going to kind of play defense, play that prevent, so take what they give you and let your athletes make plays.
Rudolph to throw. He's got a man wide open. It's caught. It's McCluskey, and he's down to the, let's see where they spot him. They're going to spot him down to the 3-yard line. McCluskey, who just made threw the interception on the last series, comes up with the big grab there.
Way to come back, kid. You make a mistake on the last series, come back and make a play for your team.
Gain of 34.
There's a little double move on the outside, and Isahaku got caught up in it. Now you're dealing.
First and goal. Rudolph to throw. Looking again for McCluskey.
Where I'd run the ball with Justice Hill. It's been your best offense inside the 5-yard line, and I think that Oklahoma State feels the same way. They're going to bring the big backs in to run the football.
Chris Bradley, who had that rather odd interception earlier, is being attended to, and while he is, I'll tell you the ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream live games, shows, highlights, and podcasts. Get access to live scores and news from anywhere. Download the ESPN app now. Think of it like living with Adnan Virk. That's what it's like. If you don't have Adnan around to keep you updated on everything that's going on, get the ESPN app. Or have them both. It's the best of both worlds. As Bradley is helped off, 3:39 left here in the fourth. Trailing by 13, Cowboys ranked 6th in the country, knocking on the door. 2nd and goal.
They brought the big Cowboy backs in, 41 and 42. Abbott, power run formation.
From the 3. Handoff to Hill. Breaking tackle, 2nd and 3rd effort, and he won't get there. Montrell Wilson and Ross Blacklock able to keep him out of the end zone, and the clock ticks.
That's the risk of running the ball. If you don't get in, you don't want to burn your last time out. You got to save that to stop TCU on offense. You got to call the play quick, get going.
3rd and goal. Again, it's Hill. This time he gets there. Touchdown, Justice Hill. And it's a 1-score game with 3:03 left.
Boy, we talked about one team coming into this game had faced some adversity, and that was TCU. They were down last week 13 to SMU. They were in a dogfight with Arkansas. We didn't know how Oklahoma State was going to respond to adversity. They were down 20 at one point in the second half, and now they're back in a position, striking distance, if they can get stopped.
5 plays, 48 yards. Only took 1 minute and 24 seconds. Jalen McCluskey threw an interception. Could have been the game ender. Then makes the big catch down to set up a touchdown. We've got a ball game. Thank you, Adnan. I meant it from the heart. 3:03 to play here in Stillwater. Cowboys trailed by 20 at one point today. They're down by 6. Here's Turpin, the TCU, down the sideline. And he'll stay in bounds across midfield out to the 48-yard line. Kerrick Tucker made the special team stop to knock him out. It's a 42-yard return. Monday Night Football is back. Cap off week 3 in style. Dallas Cowboys, the Arizona Cardinals. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. Eastern. Susie and the gang, streaming live on the ESPN app. Also available in Spanish on ESPN2. Will we see the Cowboys from week 1 or the Cowboys from week 2? Different story.
That was a huge return right there.
Yes.
I mean, at worst, now TCU, even if they don't get a first down here, will punt and potentially back Oklahoma State up inside the 15, 10-yard line, make them go the length of the field to win with a little bit of time left.
You'd expect a heavy dose of Darius Anderson here on first down and 10. It is Anderson, 2 hands on the football. Out to the 45-yard line. Gundy will check the clock.
I think TCU avoided disaster right here. Kenny Hill, I don't think he knew the ball was coming, going to be snapped. He's looking left, whoa, and the ball hits him right in the chest. Wow.
It was a perfect snap.
Well, if you're going to snap it on the wrong snap count, you better hit him in the chest.
Gundy uses a timeout there. And the Cowboys have 1 remaining.
Yep, so best case scenario here for Oklahoma State is you stop them here on the next 2 downs. And Gary Patterson will let this run down, and Oklahoma State will get the ball back with a little over a minute and a half, a minute and 40 seconds left in this game. And because of that return on the kick, they'd have to go pretty much the length of the field.
Second and 6. Low snap that time. And it's Hill. He will keep it and lower his shoulder. He'll pick up a couple. Jordan Brailford made the stop. And the last time out taken by the Cowboys. .245 left. Cowboys out of timeouts. Here's how they got back in the game. Again, trailing by 20 at one point.
Yeah, and they had to let it all hang out. And Mason Rudolph had to create and make plays. Great throw to Stoner. And in the end, Mason Rudolph had to do it with his legs. He ran for 2 touchdowns in last year's game. And then what a power down inside the 5. I've been impressed with Justice Hill. He's considered kind of a scat back, 185 pounds, but he's run hard in this game.
You're going to see 2 tired football teams. Lots of snaps out there, and the game temperature being about 92 degrees here in Stillwater, wearing some people out. You said it earlier, they can rotate as many guys as you want on defense. You're still going to feel it.
It's been a really well-played game. I mean, the way that TCU played through 3 quarters, no penalties, balance on offense, and the fight that Oklahoma State has showed here in the second half. Both teams really played their hearts out.
This will be the 152nd play of the day. A 3rd down and 4.
Oklahoma State has to have it, has to get the stop.
Keep it on the ground, and Darius Anderson up the middle. Got the first down and a touchdown. And that will seal the deal. Darius Anderson for the touchdown. His 3rd of the afternoon.
Oklahoma State had to sell out to stop the run. There was no safety left. And as soon as Anderson made the cutback and got to the second level, there was nobody left. And there might not be anybody left in the stadium soon.
That has silenced those who have remained. 26 carries, 160 yards for Darius Anderson. Career highs in both categories. The sophomore from Rosenberg, Texas.
See, there's no safety back there, and they're just looking at Bundage, number 1. And they're reading off of him. What a great game plan TCU had coming in. Sonny Cumbie, give him some credit. They ran the ball with effectiveness in this game, and give Gary Patterson credit. Without that defense, first 3 quarters really stymieing Mason Rudolph, the turnovers, they came in with the perfect recipe, and we knew Gary Patterson coming in was going to have his team ready to play. The underdog, he plays it up better than anybody. And now they're going to get in a bye week after this game.
Yes.
Get a little bit healthy and go into the rest of their season undefeated. They've got West Virginia next, which will be a great game. But what a play. What a game they played today.
Outstanding. And what they have done, to me, they have made Mason Rudolph look pedestrian, if you will. You know, you expected the Heisman Trophy hype in the campaign and throwing it all over the yard, which is what we have seen the first 3 games, and not the case today against this TCU defense.
Yeah, and Mason Rudolph, he didn't have all the pieces on offense, especially that offensive line, so he didn't have all the time that he has normally had to throw the ball down the field. But you know what? You got to overcome those things. You're a great player. You got to overcome, and they weren't able to do it today.
And Oklahoma State now out to the 22-yard line, 2:32 to play here in the 4th, and no timeouts remaining for the Cowboys.
So we'll start to talk about TCU now, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Oklahoma State.
But they were already on the radar. They were 16th in the country, so people knew they were good. But a road win here today could be a big jump up in the numbers, I would think.
All road games: Kansas State, Oklahoma. And those are tough games on the road. They got to be road warriors.
TCU since 2009, they're 34-10 on the road. That's 3rd best in the FBS. They are not afraid to travel, and that does not include what appears to be a certain victory here in Stillwater today.
It's not over for Mike Gundy. Now, this is a tough loss, right? Tough loss at home. Everybody's telling you, patting you on the back, how good you are, and you got beat today. You got beat by a better team today, but their season's still in front of them.
On 2nd and 10, here's Rudolph. Need some big chunks now, and that's incomplete. Cross signals bring up a 3rd down and 10.
But it does make, their room for error is gone now too. They can't afford to lose to an Oklahoma and think that they're going to get to the championship game and get a rematch, right? You can't have 2 losses, I don't think, anyway, this year in the Big 12 and get to that championship game, and TCU's got the head-to-head against you already. So
people keep threatening that a 2-loss team can get there. Be tough out of the Big 12 too. That's got to be a factor. Here's McCleskey. He'll be dropped at 30, short of the 1st down. TCU, as a member of the Big 12, they had been winless here in Stillwater. They had been 0-3. Their last win here, you have to go back to 1991. The last time the Horned Frogs won a football game here against the Cowboys. Here's Rudolph, hit as he throws, ball is juggled, and I think intercepted. Would that have been another big fella with another,
give it to Bradley,
another interception? It's Collier. LJ Collier comes up with the football. You get a couple of defensive linemen with interception.
Yeah. How about that D-line room this week?
Right? They'll be telling their kids about that. 4th turnover of the game.
Great pressure from
Oklahoma
Ennis
State.
Gaines. So now, the next storyline, right, as you
Yes.
pay this forward
Tell me.
is how is this TCU defense, which clearly has been much improved. Yes, they gave up a bunch of points, 31 points in this game, right? But how is this defense going to play forward to, say, an Oklahoma, right, or to a West Virginia next week? Gary Patterson's one of the best in the business at dialing up a game plan to take away what you do well, and he's going to force you to play left-handed. And can he do that against a Baker Mayfield or a Will Grier? We'll find out.
ESPN Analytics had this as the highest leverage game in the country this weekend, meaning had the most meaning in terms of a conference championship race this game. So you get the sense TCU has made a statement. You see that again, the first win here since 1991. But I don't want to shortchange Patterson. They're not coming out of the blue. They're not coming out of nowhere. They were 16th in the country. We knew they were good. I'm not sure we knew they were this good to come in here and beat the Cowboys.
Well, I don't think they started the season ranked, right? They beat Arkansas. That got them into the top 25. And now they beat, the number ranked 6 team in the country. And they're going to be close enough, pushing on the top 10 now. What I love about Gary Patterson is I think he does maybe better than any coach in America is he lays out the plan for his team. He tells them where they're going to go, how they're going to get there, and he takes it in 4-game chunks. And he said, we got to get this game, and then we'll go have our bye week, and then we'll sit down on Sunday, and we'll talk about how we're going to go get the next 4 games. And he's very clear, always has a plan, and communicates well to his players.
Both coaches told us this week, hey, we're going to learn something next week, and next week is today. And we certainly learned something about TCU. I guess for Oklahoma State, you can call this a blip on the schedule if you want to, but maybe that's taking credit away from TCU.
This is humbling. No, this is humbling for Oklahoma State. And like I said, they still can get to the championship game. They can still get to the Big 12 championship. They're going to have to beat Oklahoma and Bedlam, and they haven't proven they can do that in the last 2 years.
A handshake, whole lot of respect between those 2 long-tenured head coaches. 2 of the 4 longest tenured head coaches in college football. Rick Ferentz and Bill Snyder. Down to the field. It's pretty cool right now down there, I would think, for the Horned Frogs, Scott.
It has cooled down. Coach, 2 years in a row you're able to slow down this Mason Rudolph passing attack for Oklahoma State. How have you been able to do it?
Well, I don't know. We got good. Number one, we got some guys that really matured and grown up to good players. It was a hard game. It's hard to beat them here in Stillwater. So we're just blessed we got out of the game. Really proud of my kids and my coaches. Did a great job with game plan offense, score when we need to. I knew we were going to have to outscore them. It was just a matter of time. They were going to wear us down, but really happy with them.
Your quarterback, Kenny Hill, has been through a long journey. How does it feel for you just to see him have this success and show the leadership he did today?
Oh, yeah. I've been telling people he's grown up. It's just about winning. He doesn't care about how many yards. He just wants to win and prove people that he's a winner, and that's what we're trying to get accomplished.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Up to you, Steve.
All right, Todd, thank you. Significant and a signature victory for the Horned Frogs of TCU. They hang 44 on the Cowboys and hold Oklahoma State to 31 at home. That's our final score. Tom McShay and Brian Greasy. I'm Steve Levy. Good night from Stillwater.